Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Monday morning. Hope we're all okay. Hope we're all right. I hope the week is going to treat you well. We are talking, though, in this video, some really interesting things because I want to talk about Christian Romero, his quotes post-game, but also him throwing shots at the higher-ups, which is great. I want to talk about Carragher saying that Daniel Levy needs to leave the club. I want to talk about, obviously, the game itself as well. I want to talk about that. There's so much good stuff to talk about, and there's so much to get into. I want to say, if you're watching this, you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And if you are new, I'm a lot more positive than this, but I think I will be quite positive. You will see. Morning, D's, mate. How are you? When can Levy look in the mirror and leave our club? I ain't leaving that pay packet. How did we muck up a 2-0 leads? Thought Ange would get sacked by now. No, he won't be getting sacked. Morning, Jazz. Morning, Bazza. How are we all? Yeah, look, really quickly on the game yesterday. When we had the fit 11 in terms of the players that normally play, we were doing well. We would have won that game. It wouldn't have been an issue. We then lose, obviously, both centre-backs. I think Mickey's will be more of a hamstring tiredness than anything. I don't think it's an injury as such. Obviously, Romero, let's see. You know, people talking about how you know, Romero wasn't fit enough, Romero this, Romero that. That Romero injury is nothing to do with his previous injury. His previous injury was a toe injury. He was holding his quad. I don't know where he truly did it. I was thinking, could it be a dead leg? Because dead legs are so hard to run on. I don't know. But when he was playing, he was solid, very solid. And it was like, I forgot. You do forget how bloody good Romero is. Look, we missed chance after chance after chance. And when you play those big boys and you do miss your chances, you get punished. We all know that. It's the lay of the land. You know, when I was looking at like the XG, for example, this is a great example of how good Spurs were attacking, just attacking wise yesterday. So overall, obviously we lost 3-4. Spurs' XG was 2.91 and Chelsea's was 3 on the dot exactly. If you remove the 2 penalties, Chelsea's was 1.46. It halves itself. Ange can't control Pape, Matasar and Bissouma being idiots. And they were both idiots. They both costed us that game. Because without those 2 penalties, Spurs win that game 3-2. Now, obviously, look, that's not how the game works, but on paper, that's what would have happened. But it was, you know, Sonny missing that chance towards the end. It's... I was trying to think. There was a few others. Actually, Son missed a couple, actually. Yeah, painful with Sonny, to be honest. Painful. You know, I love him, but it's painful. Levy and Enek will never leave. Watched the game with Chelsea and Newcastle fans. Well, Newcastle fans will tell you, when you are down as many injuries as we are, they fall apart. Look at Newcastle last year. They're a prime example. Playing twice a week. Didn't get enough investment into building out the squad. Get injuries. Fall apart. They know firsthand. Levy's going away. Don't be delusional. The managers will be sacrificed. Levy will sell Romero for speaking the truth. These owners have built an ATM machine. Without Palmer, Chelsea are nothing. I genuinely, I've thought about this when it came to Romero, because people talk about, you know, Romero getting sold, right? And I said, well, it's going to be 80 plus. And they were like, nah, it's going to be closer to 60. Wesley Fofana was sold there for 75 million. He'd already had a massive ACL injury. And if you don't know anything about ACLs, you can easily injure those ACLs again because they're never fully 100% afterwards, those ligaments. So Christian Romero, who's miles better than Wesley Fofana, is still it, and he's slap bang coming into his prime. He's going to go for 80 plus if he does get sold. Let's see. Son was unbelievable. Miss was unbelievable. So many points, but Bissar and Biss was the main reasons for loss. Well, they fell apart. You know, those two are calamities. I mean, don't get me wrong, Caicedo should have been sent off. And that's another key thing. He should have been sent off. Romero, in this exact fixture last year, was sent off for that exact tackle. And they say, well, there's not enough force. It's like, yeah, but you're going halfway up his shin. That's nowhere near the ball. And the fact that it wasn't even warranted a yellow. It shows you how moronic referees and VAR is. Morning, we need at least 3 or 4 signs January. Well, no, we need this January to be a massive January. And if you know January is not the month to be buying. It's such a difficult month to buy. Now, the one thing that you might say it goes in our favour a little bit is obviously there is no international tournaments this summer. There's no Euros, there's no World Cup. So there is that where maybe players will actually take the risk in moving in January knowing, well, I'm not risking my international squad spot for the summer because that's one of the key things there. I'm not risking that for the summer, but we'll see. VAR's a joke, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, overall, look, we didn't take our chances. We take our chances, win that game. Simple as that. But we didn't, And if you keep not doing that, not as half as moronic as our manager's tactics. Well, if you've been here from the start of RS Man, I would actually prove to you. So you might want to go back and watch from the start. I would have proved to you that we were actually the better side with better chances, and we just didn't take our chances. The whole point of this type of football, same with Man City, same with Liverpool, is you're pressing high, you take chances, you create the chances, you score your chances, then you can go from there. We didn't. We should have gone and got the third. We create the chances to do so, and then we didn't take them. Ange isn't Jesus Christ. He can't do everything for these players. Son missing that sitter where he's literally throwing goals. No one near him. What can he do about that? What can he do about two players diving in for penalties? So putting it on the manager is just lazy, mate, if I'm honest. Just lazy. Do you think it was tactically inept of Ange to play both centre-backs in hindsight? Well, no, the thing is, this is another thing. Players have said, I'm good to go. They've trained and they're good to go, right? Romero's injury was nothing to do with his actual previous injury. It was a quad injury that he picked up. His actual injury was a toe injury. So it was nothing to do with that. And if Romero said he's good to go, and the medical team, they said he's good to go, then he's good to go. Now, if the medical team, obviously, who have worked with these two players for the last however many weeks, have said he might be able to give you 60 minutes, or he might be able to give you 30 minutes, but he's not going to be able to do 90, then he's not going to be able to do 90, and we work from there. But Mickey's, it looks like, I think Mickey's will be more of a hamstring tiredness than it will be he's actually done his hamstring because he was walking off pretty well, to be honest. And when you've done your hamstring, if you've ever done your hamstring, if you've ever done a groin, a quad, or a calf, if you've ever truly done one, you don't walk very well. You're walking very gingerly. He seemed to be walking pretty okay. And sometimes as a medical team and your manager, you have to take the player's word for it. They've trained well. They've gotten through the training sessions. They've gotten through physio. There's only so much you can sort of babysit them. I don't think anyone expected Romero to do his quad 15 minutes into the game, or was it 13 minutes into the game he was substituted? Well, Andy, tough week. Let's hope we can get good results for Rangers and Southampton. I believe Ange is the right lad for the job. We just need to get through this tough period. Yeah. Ange said Van der Ven was only able to play 70 minutes, and he did well. He did well to get through. I think he did 78 minutes. I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But look, it is what it is on that side of things. You take your chances. I want to talk about this Romero one because this is brilliant. And, if you're Ange out, you're Ange in, you're Levy out, you're Levy in, you need to listen to this because this is one of your vice captains. It's probably, in theory, your best player at the club in Christian Romero, right? This is damning. I mean, if you're Ange out, then you're not going to like what you're about to hear, what he said about Ange. If you're Ange in, you're going to love it. If you Levy out, you're going to love what he reposted about Levy. But he actually gave a public backing to Ange Postecoglou. He said he's a great coach. We saw it in the first season. In this second one, we suffered a lot of injuries. Players should be the first one to be criticised. Then if we lose 10 games, the staff can be changed. We're very happy with this staff, me and my colleagues. We love how they work and the football they try to play. Right, so that is backing and backing to the hill, right? That's fascinating stuff. It's stuff that, I think people were talking about, they don't rate Ange, they don't back Ange. Ange is falling out of the players. Well, if Ange is falling out of players and the players have come out of that, my God, you must fall out with everyone in your life every day of the week because that was a serious backing, okay? And the other one I want to bring in is Heung-Min Son saying the fans always support amazingly, but I think it's time for the players to step up. And I think that is the key thing here. These players, for so long, have gotten away with, the manager will take the blame. The manager will get sacked. It's not, we can get away with this. Mourinho, Poch was a big one. The players just down tools on Poch. Absolutely down tools on Poch. So you got Poch, Mourinho, Conte, Nuno. I mean, we started with Nuno. Kane hated Nuno straight off the bat, all those things. And obviously, with Ange now, how many times do we have to go through managers? And, you could be pro Conte, anti Conte, pro Mourinho, anti Mourinho, whatever. How many times can we just sit there and just say, why don't the players be held more accountable? They should be held more accountable. And it's about damn time that they stood up and went, this is on us. And Romero saying it and Sonny said it. And it's great you said it. Now it's about, all right, it's on us. We need to go out there now. We need to go to Rangers on Thursday night and we need to win that game. And to be honest, I think half of us would just take a 1-0 win. Half of us take a 3-2 win, a 4-3 win. Just win, right? Because I think winning cures all sadness. Winning cures a lot of issues, right? You'll obviously get the people that go, yeah, okay, we won, but we didn't like win 12-0. You know, those freaks are just freaks. And we don't listen to those people in this world because they're just constantly miserable. But Thursday night, I think, is important for that reason alone. I don't think it's about performance on Thursday. I just think go out there and win, right? But I think it is now down to the players to actually, the players need to be held with this game. Okay, maybe other games, Ange should have done better, this, that, and the other. People talk about Ange substitutions against Chelsea. It's like, brother, look at the bench. And some of the other games recently, look at the bench. That's not down to Ange. Ange didn't make a sub. It's like, did you want him to bring on that 16-year-old? That's down on higher ups, not delivering to the bench. You think of that game at Chelsea alone. There was 2 players in that Chelsea squad. I don't know if one of them was on the bench. I don't know. We went try and sign Tosin Adarabayo, didn't get him. We should have signed Neto. We stalled. Chelsea swooped in at the end and took him because we were dilly-dallying about fees and transfers and things like that. We mucked up there. We should have. That guy who played right wing yesterday should have been playing for Spurs yesterday, but we mucked that one up. Gallagher, it's another Chelsea player. That these players, it's all been said by different aggregators, we didn't sign because of wages. Eberechi Eze, that's another one. We didn't sign because of wages. If you signed, let's say you signed Tosin, who's a free signing, right? And who was the cheapest of the other ones? Gallagher, okay? So Gallagher and Tosin, they were the cheaper of all of them because obviously Eze is going to be 60-odd million. And let's say Neto is 50 million. Gallagher would have costed probably about 30. Let's call it 35, right? So 2 players of 35 million there. Now, yes, wages would have been a bit higher, but if you're not spending money on Tosin, you're saving money on a transfer fee, spending multiple millions on him. Romero and Van der Ven. Oh, they both go off injured. Okay, well, you got Tosin at the back now. You got Tosin and you got Dragoshin. Oh, I tell you what, we need to rotate that midfield better. Yeah, cool. Gallagher goes in, Sarr drops their bench, you know, and one of those two would have been fit. I mean, Gallagher probably would have played yesterday. And Gallagher's had a really good season at Atletico. If you've not been watching, he's had a really good season. That makes a difference. You know, people saying, oh, why isn't Archie Gray playing in his rightful positions? Because we have no one else to play in the positions that he's had to play in. Yes, I guess Spence at right back, I get that. But at centre back right now, who can play there? You know? I said that when Archie came on, a right-footed centre mid playing, let's left centre back. Yeah. Bazza said it perfectly spot on there. We better beat Rangers and Southampton can't lose again. Well, let's worry about that when we get there. We've got Rangers preview tomorrow, by the way. Sorry, I'm just put that in there now because I don't want to forget. Then should Spurs get players back from loans? Perhaps Ashley. I think Alfie will stay out on loan. Because I think that's ironically, the one position where maybe we are probably best is central midfield at the moment. Bentancur obviously will play Thursday, so you expect one of Bissouma or Sarr to get complete and utter rest. If I'm honest, this is a game that Bergvall has to play on Thursday. We need Bissouma and Sarr to be rested because they look like they are a little bit gassed at the moment. Those tackles they made were lazy tackles. Play Bergvall. I think Bergvall, his cameos from the bench recently have looked promising, more promising than they have been in a while. Play him and obviously play Bentancur in the week. We need Bentancur to go and play 90 minutes and be brilliant for his 90 minutes as well. Because he wasn't great against Roma, but he needs to be. We need a team deep enough to deal with these kind of situations. We do. The higher ups have failed that. You know, when you think about Gallagher, you think about Tosin, you think about Neto, you think about Eze. There's more to this. Dorgu's another one at left back who, my God, sign Dorgu in January. Don't muck around with this one. Go and sign Dorgu in January. Give a doggy the ability to have a game off or two. Because I think a doggy looked decent yesterday, but I think as the game went on, and obviously these players are looking a little bit more tired as the games go on at the moment, he was struggling. It'd be nice to have a left back that can come in and go, I'm playing this 90 minutes, even if it's just they're playing cup games and Europa League games, and Destiny plays just Premier League. You're telling me Destiny Doggy once a week wouldn't look better for that? You know, sign the left back. Please, for the love of God, sign a left back. But you think of all those signings, we mucked up. We didn't fully go for it. And I thought we had a good summer. I'll hands up and say, actually, for the outgoings, yeah, I always said in outgoings we had a great summer. We mucked up on Reguilon. Reguilon should be in the squad. He should be gone. Our left back should be in to replace him. But is what it is. You can't obviously fix that right this second. He needs to be gone in January, though. There's no excuses there. If you're serious about really doing something this year, he needs to be gone. I don't care if it's on a free. I don't care if you buy him out. I don't care if it's loan. I don't care if it's a sale. He needs to be gone. But that was really important news on Sonny Romero holding, I guess, themselves and the squad accountable. Now, let's talk about the thing that Romero reposted, because this is incredible. This, really quickly, sorry. Recently, there's been reports about how Romero is, they're going to offer Romero a new contract, which that's not groundbreaking news. I don't think anyone's shocked by that. I think we're coming into a situation with Romero when it comes to Kane's situation. Romero's going to have 2 years left on his contract, so it's not exactly the same, but you'll see there's certain things that are the same. Romero wants Champions League football. Kane wants Champions League football. Romero obviously wants that pay rise, and he would get one just like Kane would, so I don't think that's really a point here. He wants Champions League football, and he wants the higher-ups to put the money into the squad so they're competitive. Kane wanted it for years, didn't get it properly. Romero wants it as well. So you see there's a common theme here. I will stay if we're competitive and we're trying. And I think we went too far the way of where like the Brentfords and Brightons where they buy younger players, they build them up, right? I think we've gone too far that way. We need to come, and we went too far the way of buying ready-made, ready-to-go Perisic's, right? You need to come this sweet spot in the middle. You get a few of those guys because you go, we're going to keep the squad fresh, we're going to keep building up, but we're going to get some players that can go right now. You know, Solanke is a right now. And Solanke was good yesterday. I mean, he got kicked lumps out of and he should have had more fouls, but the referee was a stinker. But he was good yesterday. But Richarlison being out right now, Ange, I don't think truly trusts some of the youngsters to really go out there and play at the moment. And it'd be nice if Solanke can get a bloody week off, but he can't at the moment. But let's talk about what he reposted, because he reposted this exact thing. It says, oh no, he clearly signals he would leave if Levy sacks Ange. Unfortunately, the only two that have ambitions. Obviously, I've redone it because some of the English there wasn't great. Morning, Sonia. How are you? Lucas, a vital part of the corner routine. It does seem so. But yes, look, morning, Donny. You're right. But look, that's damning. That's hugely damning, because let me just re-say it one more time. I'll re-say it as it's read, and then I'll reset it in the way that you would want to read it in English. It says, oh no, he clearly signaled he would leave if Levy sacked Ange. Unfortunately, the only two has ambitions. You would re-say that as, oh no, he clearly signals he would leave if Levy sacks Ange. Unfortunately, the only two that have ambitions, right? That's serious. That's serious. That is, I think, for the first time, maybe I'm mistaken and maybe I've missed a few. That is a clear signal to higher ups that you're failing. And that's coming from a player. And it's not like it's Sergio Reguilon, right? Someone on the periphery, someone that really has no impact on the squad. This is the best player in your team. This is a vice captain. This is a leader, right? Saying, oi, upstairs, you're failing. You're one of the reasons that you're at fault right now. That's massive. That will obviously get fed back higher up. We know Levy will see that. Levy sees all. If you don't think he doesn't, sorry. If you don't think he doesn't, he does. He sees all the anger towards him. He doesn't give a crap. But he will see that. He will want to sell Romero for that reason, because he thinks if I can clear out all that, all those people that, are going to say stuff about me and get players in who are just happy to be here, I have an easier time. He will probably try and sell Romero for that reason, right? Or he'll make it such a pain to try and leave that he tries to ruin Romero for another year. right? That's the two ways to go about it. He's not going to get away with that scot-free, Romero, because that's going higher up. He will see that. Johan Lang, this January, you need to do your job this January. You need to do your job because that's a quote about you as well. Not only, obviously, I know he's not mentioned, and Levy is mentioning that. That is a dig at Johan Lang. Because I think if you're sitting there and thinking, oh, Johan Lang, we had this Paratici, we had Gabbiadini, Johan Lang, it's like, yeah, you are compared to people who are willing to get out there and get ready to go players. And I guess Johan Lang probably has been told we need to look for the players of the future. That's why we look at the Lucas Bergvaus, Vuskovics. We're looking to bring through Moore and Lancashires, and we do have to bring through some academy players. I'm not denying that. And some of these young guys that we're signing are really exciting talents. When I do my loan roundup tomorrow, I've got some incredible things to talk about Luka Vuskovic. He looks a star in the making, but he's not here till next season anyway. And we're talking about we didn't sign a centre back because we didn't want to impede Phillips and Vuskevic's development. So what we're doing is selling ourselves short this year to help those two guys for the future who in 2 or 3 years' time, they might be then truly ready to step in to be regular first teamers. What are we doing? We're canning the now for 2 or 3 years' time. We've got an opportunity this year where the league is a bit weird. Yes, Liverpool are doing well. Chelsea are starting to do well. And let's say even Arsenal are doing well. But, City are floundering. United are floundering. Between 4th and 13th is just a short amount of points that a good month would have you in there, right at the top of that. That's why January is so important. January, you don't go out there and go, let's sign another 18-year-old. No, January, you go out there and go, we're signing a 25-year-old who's ready to go, who is about to hit their prime. Because that's still lots of value in that. Don't go out there and think, oh, look at this another wonder kid who's 17. That's nice. If you want to sign him as well as 2 or 3 first teamers, then fine. But don't consider that one of the 2 signings that you need to make the summer. But January, sorry. Because January, I think people think we're going to sign 4 or 5 players. That's not what January is. January is 1 to 2 players. I think we sign 2 players max. I think we might only even end up signing 1. And what they'll do is, if they do sign 2, one of them will be a rotational keeper. That's what it will be, a rotational keeper. And then they'll sign a left back and go, yeah, but you wanted a left back. We got you a left back. And it's like, yeah, that's one of the many things that we need. Well done. You've done one thing of this list of 12. It's like when you give a list to someone at work and go, all right, mate, I need you to do these 8 things. They go, yeah, not a problem. So you check up on them halfway through and they go, I've done one of them. And you're like, right. What about the other 7? They go, yeah, I might do it. And you're like, no, but I need you to do it. It's like, oh, yeah, no, I might. You know what I mean? It's that exact thing. Who said that quote? Romero said the quote talking about how he vehemently backs Ange, but he reposted the quote about him basically digging out Levy. Romero's trying to get sold. Well, if Real Madrid are knocking, you're always going to be an interesting party, aren't you? Is there any chance for news? Nothing of any relevance right now, no. It's crazy that we only signed Solanke as an actual new first teamer in the summer. They're actually younger players with hopefully a big future us, but are they ready yet? Well, I think some of them, you'd have to say, maybe it's just Archie Gray. And he's not even a season and a half into top flight. He's not even a season and a half into professional football. He's only not even half a season into top flight football. Something I said about Dragusin. Dragusin's not even a year and a half into top flight football. He only played 6 months in the Serie A before he came and joined us. Or however many months it is till January from August. You know what I mean? He played half a season. There you go. It's just bonkers. It's bonkers. This team is starving of people that can impact the team right now. Quick chat about it. I don't know if they can get out of the Werner deal. Thing is, this is the thing with Timo. I like Timo. He's a guy that I would love to go for a pint with, hang out with. He seems like they're just a nice dude. He isn't good enough. And he can't play right wing, by the way. If you watch him when he comes on at right wing, he can't play right wing. He shouldn't have come on yesterday. He shouldn't come on. So we need a guy that can go and play right wing. And you see on Twitter people going, this is what I think the squad should look like. And it's like, hang on a second, lad. You expect Spurs to spend 400 million? So you're expecting this over a 3-year period, aren't you? Because Spurs aren't spending 400 million in 2 windows. I doubt they even spend 200 million in 2 windows, let alone 400. So you see on Twitter the people that are like, this is what the squad should look like. This is what I think. This is realistic. It's like, no, it's not realistic. It is realistic if we were serious, but you're living in cuckoo land because that is not realistic. You know, the realistic thing in January is a rotational keeper and a left back, and they spend max 40 million. I think Dorgu might cost just about 20 to 25. You might get a rotational keeper for 10, 15. What that does say is, though, is Austin and Whiteman, neither of them are good enough, and they're just there to fill up squad spots because obviously we have to for Europe. Austin signed a 5-year deal. Is he going to play Thursday? I hardly doubt it. Which, by the way, shout out Fraser Forster. He hasn't been an issue this season. People twerk about the penalty thing. You know, actually in that game, he made some really big saves, double saves as well. You know, he's not the right player for the future, but right now he isn't actually one of my concerns. We can get out the Werner deal, and it was confirmed that we've been allowed to let him explore. Well, it's down to Leipzig, I believe. Leipzig are the ones that will allow us to get out of it. It's not. I don't think it's a situation of off you go, see you later, and we're always scot-free. I think Leipzig will have to play a part in that. Like yesterday, we needed to change the midfield, but we didn't have any more defensive midfielders on the bench. So what was Ange to do? Sarr isn't a DM. We have Basuma, and we look short. That's the thing. People talk about, oh, you should have made these subs, should have made this and that and the other. It's like, well, what is he bringing on? Well, he could have brought Archie Gay. He ended up having to play centre-back. You know? Ange is here to rid of the Spurs mentality and put it in the dustbin of the future of history. Need to recruit for the future. We do need to recruit for the future. I'm not saying that we don't, but we need to find that balance of thinking future and also thinking now. Because all the while that we neglect the now, you go backwards. All the while that you think of the future, then yeah, the future might be great, but that's, that might be in 3 or 4 years' time. And by that point, Mickey could have gone, Vicario could have gone, Romero could have gone, Sonny will be gone, Solanke could be gone even, what are you going to have left? Porro could be gone. Porro is wanted by Real Madrid. Well, he could be gone, better players want better wages. It's not Spurs wage structure. And that's the other thing. I want to come to Carragher's comments in a minute. Give me a second. I'll be there in just a second. Just read these last few comments. It's a loan with an option, not an option, an obligation. I know I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, Boris, is to get out of the loan, Leipzig have power there. I'm not talking about the end of the season. I'm talking about the January window. They have the power there. You'd have to foot bills and things like that. Short-term gratification with no follow-through is what the club's about. Whether it's 2 goals will do, not if Chelsea score 4. Transfer window win, sack players, sack manager through games so Arsenal lose. It's reactionary. Unless the keeper Ange has in mind is available in January, he won't bring one in. There's also that. Problem is, if Forster continues like this, Levy will say we don't need a goalkeeper. That's the other thing. It's saving and wage cutting. Who the hell is going to invest in this club? Because they want ridiculous money to even sell 10% of the club. You're overpaying for that, And also the other thing is you've got to be careful. As much as I don't like Daniel Levy, I don't think he's good enough, and we will never be good enough under his stewardship. Sergeant Ratcliffe bought a small minority in Man United to basically in the next 3 years take his 25% and then own a majority. It's very confusing. We're not going into it. He is an awful owner. Awful owner. Go and check Man United's situation at the moment. He is he makes the Glazers look normal, and they're an awful owner. Sack Andrew, replace him with who? It's only one solution, and that is Levy leaving his position. Agreed, Wind Rider. To get out of the loan, it's probably a couple $100,000 to $1 million at most. I don't see that being. I think it'll be probably more than that. Sure, we need players now, but what players are willing to come now and is available for Ange to recruit? People talk about Eze and why did we get him with no info on whether he's a possible. Well, Harper, he is a possible. He had a release clause. It is possible. If you trigger the release clause, Crystal Palace have to accept. Now, does Eze go? Different story. But there was talk about the fact that it's wages. They put it all down to wages. Same with Gallagher. Same with all these people. Wages. It's just, awful. I've heard stuff, and I've been able to say it since it's confirmed already that Stavely is trying to get 3 deals done. Apparently Stavely wants to invest in Real Madrid. Saw that. I don't know what's going on. It's a confusing thing, but, we've been trying to get investment for years. Can't you see there's an issue there? Now, it doesn't take It doesn't take years. Yes, it takes months to get the investment sorted, but we still don't have a bloody name for the stadium. We have no stadium name rights, which would have brought in more money, right? Which obviously we wouldn't have spent on the squad because that's not what Spurs do. They hide that and they go, oh yeah, that can pay all the dividends and bonuses to the higher ups. You know, it's a joke. That's 3 confirmed people interested. There should be more news than later. Well, we'll see, Boris, but I'm not holding out any hope. Surely players. Sorry, I've done that one. Yesterday, recent results have been created by poor signing or lack of quality signings over the last few windows. Folks had to see the coming. Cannot replace quality with kids. Read what you say. There you go. We'll link to an American Daniel Levy. I've already talked about Jerry Jones. It's not true. Let's talk about Carragher and what he said, though, because this is the first time I think, when we talk about Sky and the pundits, and they dig into Glazers, dig. And the Glazers then went, okay, fine, we'll sell. And obviously they sold to basically the British version of the Glazers. Carragher coming out saying that he reckons it's time for Daniel Levy to leave Spurs. And what he sort of said, I'm going to sum up really quickly. What he said was that he had backed Daniel Levy previously, and he goes, well, you look at the stadium, you look at the training ground, it's fantastic. But you look on the pitch, it's not good enough. And it hasn't been good enough for years. And then Jamie Redknapp, obviously former Spurs player, saying they've had 23 managers in the last 15 years. It's a manager every year and a half, which if you factor in, Poch was there for how many years? AVB was there for a little while. Redknapp's dad, Harry, was there for a little while. Martin Jol was there for a couple of seasons at least. Obviously Nuno was there for about 30 minutes. That plays a part. But, Conte was there for a year. Mourinho was there for, about a year. It's like people talk about this common denominator. That's a lazy argument. No, it's not a lazy argument. It's factual information. 23 managers in 15 years, with Poch being there for half a decade. So if you actually remove that, right, take 5 years off that, you're left with 18 years. Obviously, Poch was probably there for a little bit more than 5, but let's just say it's 5 for the sake of argument. 14 managers in 18 years, and we expect success. It's appalling. It's absolutely appalling. And there is one man that has to be held accountable that for some reason fans don't want to. Fans want to throw paper at the Chelsea players more than they care about the higher ups. You know what I mean? Like, it's boring. It's getting to the point it's boring that I have to actually mention these things, and people just refuse. They don't listen to it, and they go, I don't like Ange. And you can't win with these people, unfortunately. They will be who they are, and they're allowed their opinion, and I'm not going to dig them out for it. But it's boring that they want to have a debate about it when I clearly have said my points. Find the thing and find the root cause of things. You fix this, and then you work from there. So people go, I want Ange gone. Fine. You want Ange gone. Okay. But you haven't said anything about Daniel Levy. And what you want is a quick fix, a little dopamine kick of, we're going to win 2 games in a row. Woo! We won 2 games in a row. And then guess what? Manager doesn't get backed in January. We start to have some bad results. We want a manager gone, new manager for the summer. That's what it would be. That's what the routine would be. And it would be boring. And I'd be done with this club if they sacked Ange on that basis. I'd be done. You want to rebuild? We're in the rebuild. Oh, we don't actually want the rebuild anymore. Done. I'm just done with it. I'd be done with this club. I'd be done with Levy. I'd be done with them all. Because we just do the same thing every single time. And guess what? It doesn't work. I think we sold name rights as global exposure of the club through sporting events, concerts, etc. can be significant. But you can still do that as well as it being significant. Morning adventures, how are you, mate? Some fans have been oh my God, I can't say the word, catastrophizing for 10 months now. Now the results fit that vision. We'll never have continuity, change minds that frequently. Sack Ange ASAP. If you want Redknapp, mate, I just, no. The guy is in, how old? Let's hang on. Let's do this. For some reason, I'm going to actually entertain this ridiculousness. Bear in mind, Daniel Levy didn't like Harry Redknapp. He's 77. I don't want a 77-year-old manager in here who dealt with the same things Ange did, a small squad, and then ran them into the ground. Not interested. Morning, everyone. How are you? Also, investors said if they all come in, three want their own new manager. So even if they get in, Ange's out the door. Well, the thing is, if a new, right, I get this thing though, with like, if an owner comes in and wants their own manager, I totally get it because they're paying for the club and they want to make their own decision. I do get that. But you also got to remember, by the way, none of these investors are coming in and taking the majority of the club. They'd come in and buy 10, maybe 15% of the club. Nothing changes. As a minority investor, who Daniel Levy will still be running the club and running the sports side of the club as well. That's the key thing. Not the marketing, not get Taylor Swift in, get Beyonce in. He'd still be running the sporting side. Nothing changes with that investment, by the way. Absolutely nothing. It's still the same thing. A big part of our fan base is done. They don't see the big picture. I'm worried that Ange will go. Well, it'd be shocking if he did. Levy will invest with Ange in January and the summer. Levy is room 7 playing football manager and building a real structure at Spurs, trying to replicate the Man City model. Problem is, to replicate the Man City model, you need to spend money. There you go. Levy should work his arse off if he wants to be the owner of the club. Well, I think with any real job, you should continue to earn your job. Now, don't overdo it. Like you at your job, right? I'll give you an idea. In my previous jobs, I ran myself into the ground for certain roles, and you're replaceable. If you die tomorrow, you'd be replaced, right? So you realize that. So what you do is you work yourself, you work hard, you work the hours you're supposed to work, and if you finish at 5, you finish at 5. Everything else gets done tomorrow. Do not break your back for a company that wouldn't break theirs for you, you know? The managers are, you're speaking the truth. Careful, Matt. I'll be called a happy clapper, which is such a stupid thing to say about people. The only managers I would want if Ange would go is Areola or Pochettino. We don't know if either would want to come. Well, Poch has only just taken the US job, so I don't think he'd be leaving that. And Areola, thing is with Areola and people like that, people want these managers. I don't think people have done enough research into these managers and what they're about. We sit there and go, I want great football. Spurs is about playing entertaining, sexy football. I don't know if you've watched some of these managers. They don't play the nicest of football. They play to their results. They go, we want to win this game. I totally get that. And they go out there and do it. But they're not going to play the football you want. Is all I'm going to say. Good managers, but they're not going to play the football you want. And then when some results start to just turn, just ever so slightly, just a little, so I'm doing my volume. I'm just turning it from 5 to 7, my volume, right? Fans will turn on them like that. They will. They'll do it. They would do it to Areola. They would do it to Thomas Frank. Anyone that wants Graham Potter, I'm going to absolutely just launch my computer out the window. He's not the guy. He's just not the guy. So these managers get turned on like that. They would get turned on like that because that's what this fan base is. They're reactionary, Hey, Cozy Matt, how are you? Everything. Levy's good with everything except for sporting side. He's good at the business side. Yeah. Has Poch not got a job? He's the US manager. The USA. Do they call it a general manager or is it just the manager? I think they just call it a manager because they have a general manager as well. I think they do. Bruce Arenas. That was a guy that made me think he's the general manager. I don't know why. Poch, lol, 5+ years and he won jack shite. Well, he also got screwed by Levy a few times, though. Levy knows if he sacks Ange that he'll get in trouble. Poch is the reason we have a new stadium and moneymaker. Levy's highest paid director, absolutely. Really disturbed when I see so-called fans being jovial and happy after a loss. We would think, well, for the fans that, call out our club so much, I'm not saying those people, I'm just saying on Twitter in general, I saw they were happy we lost so they could say, I proved right. And it was like, you're just as much of an issue as everything else. We will be organising Levy protests. Meet us at Brewdog Pub, Camden for further details. Enough with the cheap talks. Come and support the movement. Well, there you go. Let's see. I want to see these big Spurs fan pages that have a massive outreach back that. I have been reposting them on Twitter, by the way. There's a few that have been saying stuff. And I've been reposting them, but nothing seems to come of it because the problem is with the protests, and this is the issue that I see with Man United's, and I think after a little while they finally somehow got it underpacked. People want to be credited with the fact that they've set it up, right? I'm not saying Amin's saying that, by the way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general, people want to be credited with the reason they're doing it. And if they're not, they don't want to do it. And that's the issue. Fans don't want to come together. Fans want to gain social media notoriety for this. And that's the issue. It's all about, those people. And those big fan pages haven't done anything about it, but they'll call out the players and call out the club, but they won't do anything about it because they've got a fan base they need to work on. Aren't Spurs a cup team? We are still in all three comps. Well, I hate this cup team thing, but in theory, that's what they get named. Yeah, but we should be worried about all four comps. We can't even go for those three cups because we haven't got the squad for it. That's the issue as well. Inzaghi would be interesting. Inzaghi is the Inter manager, is he not? I think he's still an Inter manager, is he? Poch would be great to rebuild the team again. Yeah, but the thing is, we just then start the new cycle of does it for a few years, get top four, doing all right in cups, semi-finals here and there, then lose. We're playing stadium football, needs to work on consistency. Any news about Van de Ven, Romero and Johnson? Nothing right now. With you regarding Graham Potter. No evidence suggests Levy will back Ange and expecting a reaction in January. Chance winners. Poor marker of expectation. Players expensive, not wanting to leave mid-season, smaller budget. Mouldy pickle. I tell you what, a mouldy pickle would be disgusting. That must smell. Not you, the actual thing. No, you're right. There is no evidence to suggest it. Actions speak louder than words. That's the way I'll sum that one up. The last we had a protest against Levy, these fans ignored us, sick of them. There's too much fear in fan base. They can't be throwing 6 years of baggage on every manager. That's not a clean slate. Areola and Frank doing well, stable fan base will cop the same. They'll be thrown under the bus as well. Anyone that wants a new manager, trust me, they'll be thrown under the bus as well. It's crazy how so many hours on Ange has to go, but never ever mention Levy because that requires effort. They don't want to do it. They want quick fixes. They think, well, because we're a top six club, we should win the Premier League and we should be in the Champions League and win that. We should win the Carling Cup or the League Cup and we should win the FA Cup every single season. So look at the spending power that we are fighting in some of those big clubs. Look at Man City. Arsenal. Arsenal spent how much money? They have spending power. Chelsea has spent what, 1.5 billion over the space of about 2 years. I don't think Spurs spent 1.5 billion in 10 years. Man United, they spent about that in about 10 years. We don't spend that. They've just spent it horrifically, by the way. I don't know what has happened with that money. I do not see it on their pitch. But it's like, if we got Amorim right now, Amorim wins a couple of games, things go wrong. He's even said, this is going to take time. I am managing minutes. We will lose a lot of games this season, I promise you. He did it with Sporting. Sporting then took their time. Sporting then became the team in Portugal. If Man United fans are actually just if they sort of go, we're going to be behind Amorim, do what you need to do, he will turn that club around. We would do the same if we had Ange, in my opinion, but will we is another question. Fans spending crazy money at the stadium. I don't mind fans spending money at the stadium. They can do what they want to do with their money, but it's be more vocal, be more evident with your, people talk about, I'm going to do a walkout on the 30th minute. That doesn't work. It does not work. You paid for your ticket. He's got what you want out of you. Whereas if you sit there, stay and say something about it, that will land better. At some point, quality managers will not come to Spurs. It's history of manager treatment. Well, the thing is, we treat managers similar to how Chelsea treat managers, but Chelsea pay their managers huge money. The reason Graham Potter does not need to get into management is he's still getting paid 200 grand a week. Still to be not the Chelsea manager. We don't do that. And there's so many good managers that we've had in the past. Like Conte's a great manager. Mourinho, great manager. Nuno, look right now. Nuno's doing pretty well for us. They're good managers. We just treat them like crap. The players that we have are like us. The board should step up and back the manager. I've heard Kieran McKenna is linked to this Spurs job. Yeah, good manager. Would get chewed up and spat out in a heartbeat. The squad needed to be refreshed. We were running players into the ground, so they got injuries and didn't have similar quality players step up. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Carbon copy. Control, what is it? Copy and paste of last year. The board should fix the squad depth problem. Did you notice that he wasn't backed because of the stadium builds? Yeah. I find it crazy that fans lost the patience. Changing the manager will do jack shy. We start again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Peter, I agree, mate. How are you, by the way? I haven't seen you in a little while. But no, I agree. It doesn't fix anything. Changing manager will fix nothing. Why would you spend time and think about Levy out unless you're going to empty stadiums and not buy merch? Only stay until they want to sell. There's that. You've got to make it to a point that they think, actually, I probably do need to sell and get out of here. But when, they can earn good money. The Glazers earn seriously good money, by the way. They still earn so much money out of Man United. And they did the little thing. Oh, there's a thumbs up. My Mac telling you something. They did the thing that they think those fans wanted. Oh, yeah, no, we'll sell up in a few years' time. Once the club starts to earn even more money, then we can sell it for more and cash in. They want like $5.5 billion in that time. Levy probably looks at it and thinks, I want something similar to that, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool all have two players that can sign each position. Yeah, people comparing us with Liverpool, that's bonkers to me. Look at Slot. He's doing better than Ange. Wow, you do not understand context. Truth is, if Ange goes through the Carabao and wins at Rangers Southampton, he'll probably be here probably another couple of months. But if he loses his matches, the ball sack him. Well, apparently they are fully behind Ange. But let's see about that. If they're fully behind Ange, they spend money in January, but they won't. So simple as that. I'd keep Ange until the end of the season, especially if he wins us a trophy this season. Well, if you win, if as a manager wins a trophy at Spurs, he cannot be sacked. That is the reason Mourinho had to be sacked. Mourinho was on touching distance of winning a trophy. And in that final against Manchester City, I would have backed him to win that trophy. Mourinho's lure of winning a trophy and his aura is the same as Spurs not winning a trophy. Mourinho's gone and won things since leaving Spurs. He won things before Spurs, he won things after Spurs. If he had won that trophy, you could not sack him. He's unsackable. So why Juan Ramos stayed longer than he should have? You're still traumatized by Nuno. Nuno's not a problem. Constant's not a problem. Marino's not a problem. Levy and the board are the problem. As for the league, it's so tight that 4 to 5 games we win, we could be top 4, but 3, 13, 9 points. A lot will change next month. Yeah, probably will. Personally, I want Ange to run as quick as he can away from the toxic club, toxic owners, toxic fans. They all know better. Well, Ange deserves to be treated better. He deserves to be treated better. Tottenham as a brand lost its football line, didn't see. The glaring question who should be, if we had sacked Ange, then who should be his replacement? Potter, Thomas Frank, that's not exactly exciting alternatives. We signed Gaza, Bell, Klinsmann, Van der Vaart, Bobatov, Modric at the old stadium. We have this massive stadium, but average players. Well, the thing is, Bale was a project. Modric was, nobody knew about Modric. Bobatov was a decent striker at Leverkusen. Van der Vaart, obviously coming from big clubs, obviously Gaza and Klinsmann. But you obviously got to remember, those two were signed before Levy, fully behind a manager, not backing him. Sounds good. Now we're saying Bournemouth, Fulham, Forest, Brentford are better than us. I'm not saying that. What I would say is playing Fulham is not easy. Look at Arsenal yesterday. Playing at Bournemouth is not easy. Look at Arsenal with Bournemouth. Look at Man City with Bournemouth. Fulham. Ipswich. Ipswich picked up points against Brighton. Fulham picked up points against Brighton. And Brentford have got the best home form in the league. So there's no bad clubs in the Premier League anymore. It's not the same way it used to be, where you would play a bottom 4 team and they are just rubbish. They're just not. Anyone can have their day. No to Potter or Frank, or even worse, Southgate. If it's Southgate, I say I'm done. I'm going to go support someone else. I can't be doing that. I hate him as an England manager. And hate a strong word. I didn't like him as an England manager, and I wouldn't like him as a Spurs manager. Fulham, Bournemouth all play a game one week. Well, yeah, I'm not going to compare us with Fulham, but I get what you're saying about that. Can't understand why fans most have never played or coached at any decent level know better. Keyboard warriors. People probably think I know better, and I don't. That's why, I back Ange. And I don't have to agree with every decision, but I'll back every decision, because that's what you should do. You back the manager, even if you think he's wrong or not, because that's the manager of your club. So you back the club because of it. But I don't back certain people in the club. Mid-table teams got better. It would be stupid to sack a manager. New manager comes in, plays different styles, style with different players. Well, that's the thing as well. If you bring in a new manager, they're going to need their own squad. So then you're setting back the rebuild another 18 months. Sack Ange, stop with the Redknapp thing. This weird twerking that you have for Amin is for Redknapp is weird. He's 77, hasn't managed in years. He had the same issues as Ange did and ran those players into the ground, and he had better players than Ange did. Let's leave it there. Redknapp had a good time at Spurs, but it was 13 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. Let's just leave it there, mate. Come on. If it is Southgate, I'm not entering the stadium until his time at the club ends. Oh, well, he'd be a yes man, so he'd probably be all right. But yeah, look, really interesting stuff. Obviously, Romero's quotes and reposts. Go look at it if you haven't already. It's fascinating stuff. Obviously, talks about Carragher calling out Levy. This has been a long live, by the way. I didn't think it'd be as long as it did. So apologies if it is a bit too long. Obviously, talking about the game yesterday. Really fascinating stuff, mate. Really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me. Crap show, mate. You guys delusional wake up. I'm in, leave, mate. Then there you go, leave. Click off the X and just leave if you think it's a crap show. I can't be asked, mate. Be better. You don't say anything when we win. You only say things when we lose. Be better. All right? Jesus Christ. If it's I don't get those people. If it's a crap show, then just leave. Why do people want to feel like they want to moan? Engage in conversation, but if it's a crap show and you're not enjoying me, then don't ever watch me. Good Lord. Levy sacking Mourinho 1 week before the cup final was sackable offence. Well, if we're being honest, we've actually gotten worse after summer. Selling Højbjerg, not bringing in a replacement is probably one of the worst decisions we've made in the window. Well, Højbjerg should have gone, but replacing him with someone that can play in the bloody midfield would have been nice. Look at our results second half of 2012. That's not for me. Look, I give Levy props by making us the third most profitable sports team in the world. And the business has done but enough of the damn profit over glory. Flip it now and back the manager for once. Nova, I rate it. But look, thanks very much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your days. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons and mornings or evenings, wherever in the world. Spurs can't ruin it today for you. Enjoy it, and I'll speak to you all soon to speak a little bit more about Spurs. Take care. Peace.